go ahead and call the February 19th, 2026 TRPA Hearings Officer meeting to order. It is 2 p.m. My name is Marcia Birch, and I will be serving as the hearings officer today. The first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. We have one item. Have there been any changes?
There have not been any changes that I'm aware of. Julie can
Okay.
maybe confirm that.
No changes.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, so I'll go ahead and approve the agenda as it was posted. The next item on our agenda is public interest comments. Any member of the public wishing to address the hearings officer on any agenda item not listed, or I'm going to actually read this off. The agenda itself is not a very good statement of that. Here we go. Any member of the public who wishes to address the hearings officer on any item that is not listed as a public hearing item on the agenda may do so at this time. Public comments on any public hearing item will be taken at the time those agenda items are heard. The hearings officer is prohibited by law from taking immediate action on or discussing issues raised by the public that are not listed on the agenda. All right, so Jessica, I don't know if we have anyone in the room.
We don't have anybody in the room, and it looks like there's no members of the public online as well.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you to ask if anyone online would like to raise their hand, just in case. Okay.
If any member of the public wishes to address the hearings officer, please raise your hand by clicking on the raised hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. There are no hands raised to comment.
All right, thank you, Jessica. I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment period, and we'll move on to announcement of appeal rights. Any decision of the hearings officer is appealable to the TRPA governing board. The notice of appeal, which can be found on TRPA's website, and associated fees must be filed within 21 days of the hearings officer decision. All right, so that brings us to our public hearing items. We just have the one today. And it is the Duncan Summer Home Edition, 7183 Heavens Trail, El Dorado County, California, APN 029-320-003, TRPA file number ERSP 2025-1387. And this is Julie Roll's item.
Yes, hi, this is Julie Roll, Senior Planner at TRPA. So this project is the addition to an existing 1950s era summer cabin, and it's located within the Kingsbury Drainage Plan Area Statement where summer home is a special use. The home is accessed from a dirt road connecting to the Rocky Point neighborhood of South Lake Tahoe, which is basically at the base of Heavenly Ski Resort. So it's located on the edge of an established residential subdivision, just kind of on the outskirts a little bit. And there are a handful of other summer cabins located off the same access road, which to my understanding is not plowed in the winter, kind of leading to its seasonal use. So the existing cabin's approximately 800 square feet in size, and the owner's proposing a really modest living space addition, interior remodel, replacement of the roof and siding. And the coverage for the project will be relocated on site. A portion of the compacted dirt parking that's there on site that's legally existing will be restored, and water quality best management practices will be installed on the parcel. The property is not visible from any scenic resource area, and only one 16-inch pine tree is slated for removal as part of the project. Since the project only involves a small addition to an existing home, TRPA has determined that the project won't affect the character of the neighborhood, and all special use findings can be made. And that's obviously all the findings are in the staff report. So that's all I have for the summary, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you. I don't have any questions at the moment. This is pretty straightforward, but I'll go ahead and hear from if anyone who's representing the applicant would like to speak. We'll hear from them now.
Hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm the designer. I work with Eric Sudhausen at Sudhausen Design and Draft. I think Julie did a really great job summarizing the project. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Thank you, Lindsay. All right, Julie, have you received any public comments?
No, I have not received any public comment.
Okay, all right, then, um, Jessica, it sounds like we don't have anyone in the room and everyone online is either staff or the consultant for the applicant.
That is correct, but I can ask
Okay.
anyway.
Okay, let's go ahead and do it.
Any member of the public wishing to comment on this item, please raise your hand now by clicking on the raised hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen or by dialing *9 if you're on the telephone. There are no hands raised to comment.
All right, thank you. Then I will go ahead and close the public comment on this item and take action. I will approve the findings contained in the staff summary, including a finding of no significant environmental effect. And I'll approve the project based on the staff summary and record evidence, subject to the conditions contained in the draft TRPA permit.
Awesome.
All right, so that takes care of all of our items for today. So we'll go ahead and adjourn.
Thank you, Marcia. Thanks,
Marcia.
Jessica.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.